Good morning, team. How's everybody's weekend?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So typically Jeremy does the Monday morning meetings, and I'm just limited to the optional meetings that everybody likes to come to. But this morning we're gonna go over a couple things and change up the way I typically hold meetings. We're really just pragmatic about two services that we're doing right now. So nothing too futuristic or growth minded here today, just what is directly in front of your face, as you will see this morning. So mowing, it's pretty obvious we mow grass, right? But to do it exceptionally well, you have to make sure that all the details are done, right? You can't just go out there willy-nilly and leave debris all over the place and crooked lines, and y'all are what is known as the best in the business, right? You wear the Augusta gold, gives you some sense of pride. You know that you're working for a company that's different and is trying to be actively different than the vast majority of landscape companies, right? By how we pay our people, but also the reason we are able to do that is the level of service we deliver our customers, right? So, and a lot of times, especially in the heat of things, you could get it into your head, and it's pretty easy to do. I mean, it's just mowing grass, but it's not. Not at Augusta, it's not. It's making sure that when you leave that property, no matter what, that you've delivered an Augusta experience. You're doing it the Augusta way. And, Jeremy, if you've ever worked with Jeremy, he's switched his position to do more training and stuff like that for folks that come in so that he can show them immediately what the Augusta way is. But most of y'all know what it is. In the heart, most of y'all, as far as like training, that's not really needed for the majority of the people here, and if it is, we'd be glad to give it to you. But actually, just going out and doing it and making sure that when you leave that property, it is the Augusta way. That's that can be a matter of mindset sometimes. So y'all are doing really well. Just want to let y'all know. I'm just emphasizing before the spring rush really gets rowdy, which is pretty soon, what the details of it are and what we're looking for. So mowing here, and you'll see one that has been added, but it says what it includes. You'll see the description: front, back, and side yards. And before we get any farther past that, I want to highlight something that's important. You'll see job notes, right? If there's a job note on there that says a specific area of yard, so like then this is your job note, and it says includes this, but it also has here, it says front yard only. This supersedes this line right here.
Number 2 always supersedes number 1.
Yeah, if there's something on the note that is saying, hey, front yard only, it will supersede this part of it. Because what happens a lot of times is Command Center, whenever we do our notes for our estimates, they'll take and they'll copy this to the job. Is that correct, Jeremy?
Yes.
This whole description?
Yeah, so guys, so sometimes that front yard only might actually be number 1.
It should be.
Yeah. All right, and that's what they'll do. They'll literally delete number 1 that says front, back, and side, and they will put that there. So in any and all notes, it might look repetitive, but just go ahead and take the 2 seconds to read it.
All right, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because we would like to try and tell, we could request Command Center to do our notes a certain way, but they have so many employees. Yeah. Most of them put the job note as number 1. So just if there's a job note, if it looks repetitive, just read it, take you a brief second to read it, and you might catch, hey, this is only the front yard.
Yeah, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll take this right here, as a separate note, it kind of stands out, which I like. But they'll take this note and replace it with the first line of the description, which includes where it includes. It might say front yard only here.
So there's 2 ways you're gonna see it. It's either gonna be exactly like that, or number 1 will say front yard only.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
If number 1 says front yard only, and then the next bulletin will say front, back, and side.
Front yard only.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry guys, I mean we don't control the Command Center team. They have ways that they've been trained, and so just make sure you're reading your notes.
So it looks like that, just opposite, where front yard is at 1 and front, back, and sides is
Front yard only.
Front
Yeah,
yard
and then
Yeah.
sometimes you can really tell if you look at the
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah.
Right.
And if there's any questions that you have, once you've read it and kind of analyzed the situation, please give me a call.
Yeah, I'll take back what I said. If you have any questions, just call me. I got AirPods in.
Yeah. And if you're like, why can't we get it done the way we want to get it done? You went to conference and you got a game you're trying to win. You just got the rules of the game, right? If you mess with the rules, you might get kicked out of the game.
Right.
So we don't want to get kicked out of the game. We don't want to be adding problems to something that they're trying to streamline. So this is our way of playing the game. So, all right, back to the rest of it. I think everybody knows the turf needs to be mowed, right? But the way in which we mow it, you might have to double cut it, depending on, a lot of scenarios. So mowing it, correct height, bagging when you need to, stuff like that. Everybody knows line trim the perimeter, edging, yada yada, blowing hard surfaces, that's great. This one right here, and I've read the descriptions, and in the maintenance package, our contract clients, I don't even know if y'all notice it or if we even do it anymore, it says mowing MP.
Well, it's only on the contract clients, and I don't think they would see that in that.
Y'all won't see all that. But anyways, there's a slight difference in the descriptions. Collecting debris on hard surfaces and lawn. So, if anybody is, saw that description and think, as far as before, without that being in there, that that my responsibility is just to mow the grass, and if there's debris on there, just leave it or blow it into a corner. That's not what we want you to do. We want you to collect that debris that's on the grass or hard surfaces. So, and there's some times where you can mulch the debris. But definitely don't just blow it to a portion of the property. Collect it. And so there's an asterisk down here for them. For debris collection, they must have winter service or an initial visit to handle excessive amounts of debris on the lawn and hard surfaces.
Yeah,
So what we don't want y'all to do is do a mini cleanup on their mowing. But there's always gonna be that thin line between, should I just go ahead and take it, or should I say stop what I'm doing, notify me, the estimator, would you say, Jeremy? Instead of you, or
Yeah, I'll let you know.
notify me if the customer needs to be addressed with an estimate.
Which I think we've got through a majority of our mows, so a lot of that leftover winter stuff is gone. So going forward, at the end of your mow, if you need to use your bucket and pick up a couple sticks and cones, that's our main focus. And then also going forward for next year, I know, kind of planning ahead for the people that don't get winter services, stuff like that.
That way that will be there, and so when we go up to the lawn for their first service, we just stop it right there. Or if you want to test out your ability to talk to customers and sell, if the customer happens to be home and you want to say, hey, and in your head say, okay, it's going to be an extra hour, you call or you talk to the customer and say, hey, would you like this done today? I've got enough room, I got enough time. Customer says yes, you get an upsell. We'll put $20 in your pocket for an upsell. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Cool. So anybody got any questions about this right now, concerns or anything like that? Yes, sir.
So with the debris on the lawn, what if it's like 100,000 gumballs?
Yeah, that'd be a situation where if it's just like, it's gonna take you an excessive amount of time. Let's go ahead and define excessive, okay? If it's, 20% or more on the time, so, if you've got an hour and it's gonna take you an additional 20 minutes, you say that's good, Jeremy?
Yeah, maybe a little less than that. If Matt had a good one, he called me. Did y'all see that picture he sent of all those gumballs?
Yeah.
Instead of mowing, he just collected the gumballs. So, and he called me and he said, hey, there's no way I can mow this and do the gumballs. So I said, just do one or the other. Either pick them up or don't mow. He said, well, it definitely doesn't need a mow, so he just got the gumballs.
Yeah.
So if you want to call me too, that's not a bad idea either. But yeah, gumballs are probably going to be a little exception because those are a pain in the ass too.
Well, I mean, because I know on Santorelli's yard, man, there's literally like 100,000 of them.
He doesn't get winter services either. So
Okay.
that'd be another reason to ask is, yeah, he doesn't get winter
Gotcha.
services.
And if you get there and like you say, hey, there's a bunch of gumballs, it's gonna take me an hour to collect it,
Yeah.
I'll shoot him an estimate. And if he says no, then I guess we're just
Yeah,
running the ball for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, Cody, on that one, if that's obviously excessive, that's where you could blow that stuff into a corner.
Gotcha.
But if we can, on these spring visits, spend a couple minutes getting sticks and cones, that's what we wanna do, but yeah, if it's excessive and you know it, then yeah, you're not on the hook for that.
So if there's like sticks in the grass, we collect it and stuff.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
there's like sticks off, like piled up next to the grass and stuff, we like.
Well,
Some
typically,
people-
that's gonna be one of those things where you gotta use your judgment. If a client, sometimes clients, they pile up sticks, they expect us to take it. Now,
That's-
should we take it all the time? No. But every once in a while, or if it's gonna be okay for you to take that debris and have the ability to kind of wow the customer, I say, yeah, go for it. If it's not gonna impede your day, if it's like a pickup truck worth of sticks and it's gonna make you have to go back to the shop, then no. But I would say address it.
Yeah, so Alec and I went to Lorraine Case and, we spent 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, and we put a trash can in the yard, we threw all the sticks in a pile and threw them in there. It took us not even, I guess that's 5 minutes, cause it's, times 2, but, yeah, if it's a small stick pile and you have the time, throw it in there. If you don't have the time, don't worry about it. But when you're mowing the yard, you're just responsible. If you mow the yard and there's a handful of sticks in the grass that you've mulched up, yeah, just pick those up.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Or pick them up before, that'd probably be best.
Yeah, I picked them up before, but I would like put them in places or like in the yard, like
Don't do that.
not in the yard, but like if it was like a woody area, I put like a natural area.
But yeah, if it's woods, like there's a forest back there, like Judy Sidebar, hell yeah, I took a whole thing of sticks and threw them back there.
Yeah.
But no, we don't want to pick sticks up and then put them in a flower bed. No, because that would not be increasing the level of professionalism.
So if there is like a decent sized limb or something that fell out of a tree because of wind or whatever, instead of moving out of the way to cut the grass, take it and throw it on a truck?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's gonna impede the rest of your day.
Well,
You know what I mean?
if you're driving P8, it's gonna be impossible.
Yeah, P8's a different story.
Like, if you couldn't take it and break it up, then yeah. But yeah, if you could take it and break it up to get it into manageable size, then yeah. But if it's a big old stick, big limb,
Yeah.
then just move it.
Yeah, like at Lorraine's, yeah, I did the sticks before because I was like, well, I'm not running over these sticks with my damn fresh blades. So I went up, spent a couple minutes, threw the sticks in the bucket, then mowed the yard.
Alright, cool. The second one that y'all be doing today is bed weeding. So I wanna make sure that all expectations are known and we can answer any questions. So this order kinda matters a little bit. So hand pulling large weeds inside of beds and inside of the drip lines of the plants. Does everybody understand what a drip line of a plant is?
Yes, sir.
Alright, cool. So the reason why we hand pull those is because we're not gonna knock them down and spray them. If you knock them down, they're just gonna keep growing and getting more vigorous. Because we're not gonna spray inside the drip zone, right? Because it'll kill the plant. So we definitely wanna hand pull those. Everybody understand the importance of why you would wanna pull large weeds if there's not like a whole bunch of them.
Save time.
Yep, save time.
There's a client,
Mess.
And also a mess, yeah, because if you just line trim it, that big old weed's just gonna bloop.
there is a client, guys, might be on schedule today, Melissa Birch. If you see a note that says hand pull all weeds, that means Brian has specifically talked to the customer about bed weeding, and she specifically requested that we pull all the weeds.
Yep, you see that, it is literal. I mean, it's a very small bit, so. Anyways, number 2, knock down large groupings of smaller weeds and grass inside of beds. This probably should say, if you're not gonna pull it, knock it down. Because the goal of the bed weeding, why people sign up for it and why we separate it is because the beds vary across all properties, right? And the weed issues vary across all properties. So before, not even many moons ago, some moons ago, we would lump, if you got mowing with us, we handled the weeds in your beds. But you gotta assign a specific time because everybody's got different weed issues. So
If you have a 2-minute bed weeding, guys, that's where I was splitting up a contract. And instead of taking away time from your mow, I put more time on the mow and just it's a contract client, and that's where we divided time between mowing, bed weeding, shrub maintenance, and winter services. So we do not sell any bed weeding in 2 minutes.
No.
So if you
No,
see that,
minimum is 10 minutes on a, if they have a mow and they get a bed weeding.
yeah.
Okay, so knocking down, if you're not gonna pull it, you gotta at least knock it down before you spray it. Because what the customer is getting sold here is the handling of their weeds. They don't wanna see them anymore. So if you just spray them, even if they're small, all things can happen. Number one, you sprayed them, it's gonna take a week to kill them. So when a customer comes home, just got an invoice for a $13 10-minute bed weeding, and they're like, they didn't pull my weeds. My weeds are still there. So that's kind of a visual, the optics of it, what the customer sees. And the result is what the customer's paying for, not, well, this is what we did. So, knocking them down, number one, it's visually, you can tell when a weed's been knocked down, especially if it's blasted where you can't even see it anymore. And then we spray it. So if you're not gonna pull it, you gotta knock it down and spray it, so the customer doesn't see it, but then you spray it, so it doesn't come back for a while. Everybody understand that method?
Yeah.
Okay. Knocking down weeds, vines, and grass growing inside of natural areas. So like there's clients you come to, they got defined beds with borders and plants in them. You got clients you come to, it's just an area of whatever that doesn't get mowed. Could be underneath trees, it has bare ground, could be a big old pine straw bed that hadn't had pine straw in a long time. Could be just a side strip on their house that doesn't grow anything except for weeds. That's a natural area. Anywhere we don't mow the grass, but we're still maintaining the property, that's a natural area. And then of course, the final step of the process is spraying the weeds in the beds in natural areas with herbicide. So everybody understood on all of that and why we do the order in which we do it and why we knock down weeds instead of, even if they're small, just spraying them? Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Anybody got any questions at all about that today? So I just want to make sure the goal of this, and what y'all are doing great. The goal of this is just to reinforce our expectations, just in case there's some, for whatever reason, some doubt, or maybe I didn't do a great job of explaining. Yeah.
All right, so let's say we do the little bed edging, that little weeds inside the bed. You got the weed eater, you hit it at the little 45 and cut them all out. We still go back to spray even though we can't see them visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because all you're doing is knocking the tops off, and it might have to be a memory type deal.
Okay.
Where like, if the person that did the trimming needs to do the spraying, because they're gonna know where they hit it.
Exactly where they hit it from.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely, and we'll just go ahead and reiterate that. I know Jeremy talked about it. Herbicide is, what it does, it's contact herbicide, right? So it's a post-emergent. It kills existing weeds. So it's not gonna prevent weeds.
Right.
So like, if I spray weeds on that carpet, or spray herbicide on that carpet, there's no weeds there. But we sprinkle a little dirt, put some weed seed there, weeds are gonna grow. So only spray on the weeds.
Gotcha.
Don't blast the bed. So that's why it's called spot spraying.
Gotcha.
So doop, 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 wherever the weeds are. Now, if you got full coverage of weeds, then you're just covering the weeds.
Right.
And also, while we're here talking about herbicide, spray to wet, not to drip. So kind of think about this, like if I had hair, and I didn't want to, I wanted to fix it, but I didn't want to be dripping all over my shirt.
Yeah.
I would wet it to a point where it would not roll off my hair and onto my clothes, right?
Correct.
Think about it like that. Because a weed is just like that.
Okay.
Also, be careful on hot feet. Jeremy coined the term.
Hot feet, stepping in it, and going on the grass.
Yeah. So if you're in a big bed or a natural area and you're just all willy-nilly spraying in front of you, tactic that I like to use, go to the back of the bed, spray your way out.
Yep.
So, that's cool. One, I can't just talk pragmatic, right? It'll shorten the soul. This is gonna be a short clip. It's up to y'all to figure out what it means. But, there's a book. I went to Jacksonville, so I got to read a whole lot. Or listen a whole lot.
Mower number 7. We got a backup
Yeah.
mower.
Mower
Let's
number
go.
7 is in the house.
Welcome to the family.
And it is probably the best bargain we've had. $3,600 mower. And it rocks.
Yeah.
Hydros are good. Brand new engines. Only got 5 hours on it.
Wow.
It's pretty pumped.
X-Mark 48.
By far the most
Advantage or
enjoyable.
start?
By far the most
Is
enjoyable.
it advantage or
Yeah,
start?
Advantage.
By far the most enjoyable
They
trip I've had.
they only made stars for 2 years,
Yeah, they
and
had
that was
some
the last 3 years. So there's not going to be a whole lot of them.
Man, they need to bring them back.
Well,
They made a Vantage Stars. They did, you know what? Made a baby.
It took all the good from the Vantage and of the stars and made it into one. But yeah, I read this book is called Be So Good They Cannot Ignore You. And so if y'all haven't been under a rock, or even hope to God you know that we live in a capitalist nation, right? Not a socialist. All right, so in the game, it's a capital game, right?
Right.
It's based on assets. So
Yeah.
you got to collect capital to purchase assets. They're going to make you money. That's how you win the game. Well, in your career, or whatever you do, there's something called career capital. And no matter what you do in the market, rare and valuable skills will give you more career capital. So as you enter anywhere, you can put in any industry at all. Lawn care, since we might as well talk specific, you enter in as the field team, right? There's skills you must earn just to be adequate enough to stay, right? To mow the grass, to make sure the edges are crisp. You make sure you're professional enough not to have customer complaints, and stuff like that, right? That's to exist. So you got to acquire some skills. The more capital that you gain, though, in skills, the more you can determine your outcome and control your destiny in the field that you're in. So, and this is premised on, a lot of people, and when I grew up, throughout the school system, we were taught this, and I think it was just a misnomer of good intentions, wrongly worded. And so you've heard follow your passion, right? Probably all your damn life.
Yeah.
And it's not bad on the outset, but in practice, it leads to a whole lot. I don't know if y'all gone through life like, what's my passion? Like what? I don't even have a passion. Like when they're talking about follow my passion, where the hell am I going? And most people don't have passions, like real passions that just pull you. The majority of people don't. They have hobbies.
Passionate about money.
I
That's
actually
about
learned
it.
in a
The only
book
passion.
like, what passion is. It's like the mixture of hating something and loving something.
Well, it's an extreme emotion.
I could
Yeah,
I
you
could
can-
do a lot of shit for money. So yeah,
It's emotional.
Is that
I
right?
like where you're going.
So
I like where
the
you're
best
going.
thing to do, and here's the mindset. The passion mindset is what value the world is going to offer you. All right, so you're basically supposed to match something you're passionate about with a job.
Okay.
That's kind of like if you've been in school at all the past 30 years, that's what they teach you. Like you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? Well, it's basically saying, but you got to find that special thing that's just you. That's bullshit. That will lead you
Right.
into misery.
Yeah.
Because most people don't have, like, all right,
Research something
artists
else.
have passion.
Right.
It matches with the job. If you're exceptionally good, you got great career capital, and you also are passionate about artistry, music, or painting, that works well. Or a professional athlete. Other than that, it don't work, right? Like, I'm not passionate about mowing grass. I'm damn good at it. I got good enough to go up through the ranks, build a business, and now lead a group of men that are doing it.
Right.
But I don't care about the grass.
Right.
Matter of fact, if I never cut another blade of grass,
What about the weeds?
come on. Me and McGee handled some weeds. That was pretty fun. I related to the big juicy steaks, each one of them. But anyways, what the best way to do it, instead of what the world can offer you, is what value can you offer the world? So like, what can you do to grow your skills to offer wherever you're at to say, you know what, you're so damn good, I can't ignore you. I've got to find, you start being able to dictate where you go. And so with that, it can be applied to anything. Like, like I said, the minimum skills, right? Well, there's other skills in this specific example, we'll just get specific with it, of being able to be a leader amongst your team. Instead of allowing things that are not in the best interest of Augusta to go on, talk to your team member, not in an authoritarian way, because I don't even do that.
Right.
Of like, hey man, I see that you come in just close enough to the edge not to be late. Most of us come in to get ready for the day. Why don't you try waking up a little bit earlier and showing the rest of us that you're part of this team. Could be a lot of things. Could be like you're on solo mode, you're not really seeing a whole lot of people on the property. But say you're at a property cleanup, and somebody's blowing debris in a place they shouldn't be blowing debris. And you stop for a second and say, hey man, you're better than that. This is Augusta, we're trying to be super professional here. And like, people look at you as the standard.
Right.
That's the way of career capital, because then me and Jeremy are gonna look at you like, hey man, that guy's got general manager potential. And we're gonna say, hey, you know, on the next locations, we're gonna start talking to you, getting in your ear, and saying, hey man, do you think it's something for you? That's career capital. And you know, people like Nikit and Matthew have exhibited career capital enough to where we want to trust them to be a general manager. It's a great opportunity in their career. This is very specific, because I mean, the way y'all go and what y'all are capable of is limitless. But in the specific example of lawn care in Augusta, that's how you acquire career capital.
Right.
So, just want to leave y'all with that. The book is Be So Good You Cannot Be Ignored, and it basically debunks this guy did it. He was PhD graduate. He was trying to find his passion. So he decided to make his book on basically finding people that were exceptionally good at what they did, and figuring out if it was a passion deal or if it was just really just trying to acquire career capital and devote their efforts into being more valuable. So.
Okay.
So hit on the email real quick, and then let's change blades.
Email?
Yeah.
Oh, the email we sent about the dog poop, the massive
Which,
amounts of.
I got some on my face,
Obstacles.
just on, was it Thursday or Friday? And Alec put it there.
That's terrible, man. Blasted by someone else. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't believe you're still here, Alex.
It smelled, it really smelled
I had to get you.
It smelled really bad. But we took that one for the team. We shouldn't have done that yard, but fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, you think
It was,
At least it wasn't summer.
yeah,
I'd be
summer food
pissed.
is rough.
Pissed.
I've had, man, I can remember a time I blasted through it, like, I've been many times, but this one specific time was first yard of the morning, the dew was set, it was heavy, and fresh dog poop. I mean, I was just blasting through it everywhere. And luckily the person had a pool, and I said, well, you know what, I'm gonna put my whole head, took my shirt off, put my head in their pool, and went about my day. So the dog poop stays there.
That was smart.
That was smart.
But yeah,
this is part of why we talked about the Augusta way, the Augusta mission, and let's be honest here, what we charge per hour, we're pretty expensive. So if we're gonna hold the client to this high of a standard, we need to make sure we're providing a level of service that matches that standard. Let's give these clients, what, 1 week or 2 weeks? Well, 2 weeks because they're bi-weekly.
yeah, 2 full weeks so that each client will have a chance of getting this email, and they've already had the email. We'll probably blast them again with it.
And individually. So if you have, what we did is made a note, excessive dog poop in the yard.
Here, I'll bring it up. I'll show them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, with that being said, we should start up another crew that only picks up the poop.
We're gonna recommend this company called Scoop, but next year we might mix in our own dog poop pickup. But it's just extra. You
For
got,
those that are willing.
Yeah, it's a guy that actually goes around. I don't know if y'all saw his little car.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty. He literally goes and picks up.
yeah. So pretty much we're saying, hey, call these people. But
Yeah, I think that's
I thought they just like did dog grooming or something.
No, Call of Duty is dog poop.
Cool.
Alright, so here's the email that I sent out, fellas.
I would lock gates because I know y'all loved calling me, calling customer, knocking on the door, all that fun stuff. So just make sure that if you come across any of these lock gates, obstacles in lawn, or poop, you WhatsApp me so I can email that customer directly. For the next 2 weeks, we ask that you knock on the door, call the customer. Then after this 2 weeks, all that is over with, gone, sayonara. But here's the email, and yeah, just make sure you give me that client name so I can email them directly saying, hey, Miss Jones, please read this. I need you to work with me so I can work with you.
Yep.
And
That one's bad.
the email worked because the yard we have in Grovetown, full of poop, full of toys, all of it was on the back patio, every single bit of it.
Yeah.
I've never even seen the yard look that nice.
And we'll just go through it just so that everybody knows specifically. And so this is what they received. this is what they'll continue to receive. And let's give them a 2-week grace, but specifically tell us the offenders so that we can reach out to them, make sure they understand it, make sure they even got the email. And that way, the playing field is leveled, they've been let know, they've been notified, and then we can take action, so. But yeah, like Jeremy was saying, most companies won't hold their clients to this standard. Like, it's kind of like a barrier of like, well, dang, man, you're here. And some clients are like, well, you're here to, you just mow it up. No, sir, that's not, we're not gonna be, you're not gonna be a client of ours. So, like, I've heard that y'all can just get up in the lawn. Like, no, that's poop.
So we have to change those blades.
Yeah, Shauna Wiggins, that was absolutely insane. There's the, dang, I shouldn't drop names, dang it. Anyway.
They're not, I got 96 followers, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
They will not.
Yeah, there was never a piece of poop picked out of that yard.
But lot gates, so, you know, every client gets a reminder of their service the evening before. So in there is lot gates and poop. So they know each time now too. So lot gates is what we're gonna do. I don't think there's any lot gates in the front yard, but just maintain whatever area is not locked, and we're gonna charge them for the full service. Okay. Obstacles in lawn, and this could be, you know, a lot of times people put their trash, just random objects. I'm not talking about like one trampoline, move that, mow under it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just like a littering of dog toys or kids' toys or literally trash.
Yeah,
So
so
that statement, with trampolines, we have the right to move them.
Yes.
yeah.
So,
So
weed eat none of these things.
No, it's
right
fine.
out of the way.
yeah, if you can move it, move
It
it.
slides too.
Yeah, I know, but I ain't wanna move people, cause we had it set for a person.
No, just move it back.
It's definitely less strenuous just moving it.
Yeah.
and mowing it.
Yeah, then be trying to
Yeah.
Cause it slides too.
slide.
I can move
All right.
it.
So yeah,
Go from back of the truck.
just and what we'll do in this, let's just say you go in the backyard, there is toys and stuff everywhere. It doesn't even make any sense to attempt it. Just don't maintain it at all. Right?
Yeah.
We'll just do the front. We'll charge them for the whole thing.
Yeah, that being said, if it's a handful of toys, let's be reasonable here, you know?
Yeah.
Because even that yard, O'Toole, everything was on the back porch. I did have to pick up 3 or 4 things. But hey, it was a lot better than it was in the past. It was acceptable.
Yeah, be reasonable. And it says in there, you know, we understand a few toys and the occasional collateral damage from an event, only concerned with the amount of items, trash, toys, flags, and lawn ornaments that will substantially impede our team maintaining your property in a timely manner below our new procedures. So,
Perfect.
dog waste, and the same is said. Now, we understand poop happens, and we do not bother with a couple of piles, but an excessive amount is a burden to our team and equipment. Please have your pet's waste collected before a scheduled visit, and that is the protocol. Our team will maintain, if there's an excessive amount, our team will maintain areas, front or backyard, without an excessive amount of pet waste. And excessive, let's go ahead and define it. It is, and it'll be slightly ambiguous. I'm not gonna put a pile limit out there. If somebody's got an acre and they got 20 piles on an acre property, that's not that much. So it's basically this: if you cannot reasonably mow the lawn and trim it without getting an excessive amount, you cannot avoid it on your equipment or have the chance of getting it splattered. You know, it's a high risk situation of you splattering yourself. Then don't mow it. But if you can, you know, reasonably navigate the yard and get it done, mow it.
So, and no, you do not have to weed eat poop. I was explain that out. Like, you see poop, just keep on rocking.
Yeah.
What
Was this
about like
before or
really wet yards?
How's that?
Like people like
That's how we
like,
learn.
They have an obvious leak or something, and like and it's just like I don't know. It like
That one's gonna be slightly more rare, so let's, on an individual basis
Okay.
of those yards. You know, so if it's super wet, like excessively, and it's been dry out, and you know there's a leak, typically it's one area of the yard. So for the first instance, let's maintain everything else, and let's line trim what we can. Notify me or Jeremy. Most likely, I don't even know what we changed so many.
I mean, I would say let me know, and I shoot clients an email, and we'll just have to take that case by case, because not everyone's gonna fix their drainage problem.
Well, I can think of one off the top.
Yeah, I know, Cody's
Trail.
one.
The one we have.
Cody's
the-
good,
The
yeah.
weedy, the whole back, because it's too steep and wet.
Oh, that one?
Yeah,
On the left side.
I think it's.
Well, that I would say just depends on how we're doing the time over there, because if we're doing it, we're doing it.
Yeah, that one's just like,
It's definitely not fun.
Yeah, I've done it. It's not fun. I think I've done it twice.
Yeah.
Alright, fellas, great meeting, glad everybody's here. Get out there and rock it. If you do want to check out that book, it's in Audible.
I'll
It is
check
Be
it
So
out.
Good. They can't ignore it.
Alright, let's change blades. I'm gonna talk to Will for a minute, show him some of the new stuff, and then I'll help y'all change blades. If anyone wants to try out the backup mower, they can.
P2, keys,